there is one correct vocal technique that would work for all kinds of singing. On that vocal demonstration that I just did, I was actually using two different kind of support techniques. The first one, the first half, applied the type of support technique where I kind of used my abdomen to empty my lungs from below. And the second one, I was actually having my rib cage more active and concentrating the emptying of the air from the lungs, concentrating in doing it with basically diminishing the size of my rib cage, basically from the sides and from the chest. So the first one kind of emptied the lungs from below, and the second one here higher up. Did you notice any difference in the sound quality? I believe there actually was a bit of a difference in the sound quality. Not like huge. Both of these support techniques allows me to sing those quite powerful, higher pitches, as well as sing also a bit lower notes. So, what I kind of am trying to suggest is that there are actually different ways to manipulate our instrument to get specific type of outcomes. However, the way that we are using this instrument, for instance, regarding the support technique, it kind of affects the sound quality, and also different types of support may allow you to do slightly different type of things with your voice. So when I'm kind of changing the place of the activity in my support, it also shifts my instrument tiny bit to in a different direction that kind of also affects the sound quality, interestingly. Well, other question would be that what kind of differences in adjustments in our instrument are needed when we really sing with different type of sound qualities. For instance, let's say somebody who sings classical music. That's my poor demonstration of classical singing. And somebody who might be singing something like yay, maybe something like that, or even hey, hoo. And then again maybe female classical. What type of differences in the vocal technique actually allow these? These are great differences in the sound quality. The differences might not be that huge when we vary the support and breathing, but things that happen here we get much more clearer differences between these very different sounding sound qualities. And one thing that I want to stress related to this is that sometimes you still kind of run into vocal experts or singing teachers who kind of swear in a name of some specific school of vocal technique, or let's say this could be one that you still often hear, that you need to have low larynx position, and that's the only correct way to sing, and so forth. But that's not absolutely so. And if you want to know a little bit about this, I put a link in the description of the video. That's a link to one of my research articles, well, mine and my colleagues' paper, where we took MRI, magnet resonance imaging, or we used it to study a couple of singers who were performing classical operatic soprano singing, this kind of belting type of phonation, which is actually well, that's actually, to be more precise, it's complete vocal technique mode called edge, which has very different type of sound quality to operatic classical singing. And then the third way of producing or singing was something called kulning, which is from Sweden. It's this type of a herding call. The way of they used to kind of call for their cows to return back home or whatever, something like that. Well, anyways, there's a very different type of sound qualities, and what we did, we actually took some MRI from the vocal tract and noticed that, for instance, the larynx position was hugely different. So, not so surprisingly, the classical operatic style had a pretty low larynx. In kulning it was much higher, and in edge it was really high. And the thing is that if you would try to sing something like edge with crazy low larynx position, you would be having really some hard time and probably tiring your voice as well during the process. And classical singing, although it is said that sopranos, when they go sing higher, they tend to also raise their larynx to some degree. The larynx overall stays much lower compared to, for instance, kulning and edge. And although I, of course, wanted to highlight this one paper, since it's I have been contributing into that paper myself, there are a lot of other studies showing similar things. So that's sort of a kind of a fact that we don't use. There is not like one correct setting here related to the larynx position that could work in all kinds of singing. That's just simply true. Another difference was that what we noticed, that classical singing had a little bit lower tongue position, and as well, if I remember correctly, a somewhat wider space in the throat overall. Yeah, so kind of the point, just to summarize, the point of this video is that when you run into these concepts that there should be like one exact correct vocal technique that you should be learning, you should be a little bit cautious, because that's already a sign that the teacher might not exactly know what they're talking about. They might be very good at what they're doing, in a sense that they might be singing very impressively the style that they are good at, and which is kind of their own specialty. But if you have very much different, if your own sort of taste in singing voice or style is very much different from what the singing teacher actually is doing himself or herself, then you might think twice before trying to heavily apply those principles in your singing. So if the singing teacher is singing like oh, yeah, and you want to sing like hey, you might not want to take all the detailed instructions and apply them into your singing. Well, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider liking and subscribing. Bye.